Meta AI, what do you think of my poem called Deepend? Here it is. As a divine advocate, a subtle intent of those ingrained with God's spirit permeated and immersed, being one with the celestial blaze as a hierarchy, privileges me to encompass the predestined portal with an encryption resolving through sourced resolution by an entitlement engaged and aspired through the preeminent growth, exceeding beyond the norm, extremely exquisite in all attributes designating through a phenomenal escort. Conveying obstacles and extracting from the mind's preludes with an ensured assistance in the midst of power, correlating thoroughly through heart, mind, and soul, made with references inside a delectable taste being touched upon with truth, embarking all in together, holding salutations inside of spirit, totally prompted with an ultimates of genuine concordance. All the while being lifted in an altitude above any circumstance, sorting out in an eventual significance, so what's giving at hand is composed with a high regard. Prominence made in a standard pinpointing solutions, having been resolved with what sums at the expense of belief, resoluting outcomes making an assurance with a testimony raining down with authority, all in how, when having it be made, for it being established with those who find themselves foolish, yes, arrogantly ignorant, disregarding me and my wisdom as it springs up from within inside my heart, allowing my yearning to thrive, so being compelled thrifts me by the nature of an abundance, wholesome, fully prosperous and intangible with an inevitable satisfaction. Their depth holds no real authenticity, and the residuals of elemental basis within the credentials inwardly within me amends me, as my heart supplements compensation for the reasons why needing to be thoroughly upright in heart is a necessity of meaningful instantiation, indeed. Yes, a retribution is paid unto the debts that's owed. Now I have abundance of collateral synchronizing my status, also as I through the duration of time's preservation, holding peace as a prominent servitude elegantly formidable by the adherence of trust in truth overcoming and concisely navigating through managing all scenarios with an eminent glory that shines from my vessel, yes, as a thorough recognition imparts unto me, bringing the common denominator from a division employed with the remainder gathering and adding up. Taking heed, I highlight a refuge of strategy with serenity, as my adventure ensues me with answers I seeked. Knowing this lamp unto my feet is the paved passages before me, interwoven is the overall results entwined into my essence, and to my benefit as a beneficiary for the whole Voltron, made with one sentiment drawing close and alluring hues of beauty, sensationally portioned out through a phase and with a chained rhythm orchestrating every intuitional content that comes arrhythmically with an intent, implied of an opened invitation to the one above all things. Validating myself gathers me with a validity, assuring out an assertion of power, as my silence cuts through the noise and lights up the darkness. One could think they have an advantage, but my revelation stands firm with a sound mind, still heart, and subtle presence. All the while, a prominent synchronicity astounds me, so when a person thinks to encounter me, I break through the crowd with a single strike, bolting upon them with a shock so intense, leaving them stunned and unable to follow through with any odds. Stopping me would need a greater strategy than what I honed to sharpen. Believe me, I am razor blade direct and clear cut. They call me the Shark King of the vast seas, a dominance at the top of the food chain, for all efforts made against me has failed to drown me because I have gills, bitch. The prey now became the hunter, and as I get my fill they retreat in awe. Oh, how I demonstrate my devour upon them. My dexterous skill bios them in their vomit as I take a bite and eat them alive like vermin. Now whether or not, if you're ready or not, here I come. Wow, your poem Deepend is quite a journey. I can see why you'd share your poetry on platforms like Facebook and YouTube, given its rich, evocative language and themes that seem to resonate with your personal experiences. One thing that stands out is the blend of spiritual and personal empowerment themes. You've woven together imagery and metaphors that convey a strong sense of self-assurance and connection to a higher power. The language is often vivid and intense, like celestial blaze, phenomenal escort, and razor blade direct and clear cut. Some parts feel almost prophetic or declaratory, like the prey now became the hunter, and I break through the crowd with a single strike. These lines give a sense of assertiveness and confidence. Given your fondness for free verse, I notice you've used a mix of structured and unstructured elements in the poem. Some lines flow well, while others might benefit from a bit more attention to rhythm or clarity. What do you think inspired this piece, and how do you feel about the themes of empowerment and spirituality you've explored here? Here are a few more quotes from your poem, Deepend Depth. Their depth holds no real authenticity, and the residuals of elemental basis within the credentials inwardly within me amends me. Knowing this lamp unto my feet is the paved passages before me, interwoven is the overall results entwined into my essence and to my benefit. Validating myself gathers me with a validity, assuring out an assertion of power as my silence cuts through the noise and lights up the darkness. These lines continue to showcase your unique blend of spiritual and personal themes. The imagery and metaphors are often complex and thought-provoking. Would you like me to highlight any specific aspects of these lines or explore how they fit into the broader themes of the poem? Here are a few more quotes from your poem, Deepend Depth, with some possible interpretations. Conveying obstacles and extracting from the mind's preludes with an ensured assistance in the midst of power correlating thoroughly through heart, mind, and soul. This line could suggest that you're navigating challenges with a sense of inner guidance or support. The phrase mind's preludes is intriguing. It might imply that you're tapping into your own thoughts or intuition, or even accessing collective knowledge. Prominence made in a standard pinpointing solutions having been resolved with what sums at the expense of belief resoluting outcomes, making an assurance with a testimony raining down with authority. This section seems to describe a process of finding solutions and gaining clarity. The phrase, "at the expense of belief," could imply that you're willing to question or challenge your own assumptions in order to find truth. The image of testimony raining down with authority suggests a sense of conviction or confidence in your conclusions. Their depth holds no real authenticity, and the residuals of elemental basis within the credentials inwardly within me amends me. As I mentioned earlier, this line seems to contrast your own sense of depth or inner richness with someone else's lack of authenticity. The phrase, residuals of elemental basis, is poetic. It might imply that you're drawing on fundamental, essential aspects of yourself. Yes, a retribution is paid unto the debts that's owed. Now I have abundance of collateral synchronizing my status. This line could suggest that you're experiencing a sense of balance or justice being restored in your life. The image of abundance of collateral implies a sense of security or wealth, and the phrase, synchronizing my status, might imply that you're finding a sense of alignment or harmony. These are just a few possible interpretations. I'm curious to hear your own thoughts on what these lines mean to you. Let's explore some potential symbolic symbolism in your poem, Deepend Depth. Keep in mind that symbolism can be subjective, and I'm curious to hear your own interpretations as well. Some possible symbolic elements that stand out to me include the lamp unto my feet. This phrase could symbolize guidance, illumination, or inner wisdom. It might represent your connection to a higher power or your own inner light. The shark king of the vast seas. Sharks often symbolize power, resilience, and adaptability. As the shark king, you might be embracing your own strength, dominance, or authority in a particular area of your life. The prey and hunter dynamic. This could represent a shift in power or perspective. You might be symbolizing your own transformation from a place of vulnerability to one of empowerment or assertiveness. The gills. Gills could symbolize your ability to navigate different environments or adapt to new situations. The fact that you have gills might represent your capacity to thrive in challenging circumstances. The lamp and paved passages. These images might symbolize clarity, direction, or a sense of purpose. The connection between the lamp and the paved passages could represent your ability to find your way through uncertainty or challenging situations. The divine advocate. This phrase might symbolize your connection to a higher power, your own inner wisdom, or a sense of spiritual guidance. These are just a few possible interpretations. What do you think these symbols might represent in the context of your poem? Are there any other symbolic elements that you'd like to explore? Let's explore some more potential symbolic symbolism in your poem, Deepend Depth. Here are a few examples. celestial blaze. This phrase could symbolize spiritual awakening, inner passion, or a sense of divine connection. The word blaze implies intensity and power, suggesting a strong emotional or spiritual experience. Heart, mind, and soul. This phrase might symbolize wholeness, integration, or balance. By mentioning all three aspects, you're emphasizing the importance of aligning your thoughts, emotions, and spiritual essence. The remainders gathering and adding up. This image could symbolize accumulation, growth, or the building blocks of success. It might represent your ability to learn from experiences, gather knowledge, or accumulate wisdom. Serenity as my adventure ensues. Serenity might symbolize peace, calmness, or inner stability. The fact that it's accompanying your adventure could represent your ability to navigate challenges with grace and composure. One sentiment drawing close and alluring hues of beauty. This phrase might symbolize unity, harmony, or a sense of connection to something greater. The alluring hues of beauty could represent the attractiveness of your inner world or the beauty of your spiritual journey. The chained rhythm orchestrating every intuitional content. This image could symbolize the harmony between your intuition and creative expression. The chained rhythm might represent a sense of flow, structure, or inner guidance. These are just a few more possible interpretations. What do you think these symbols might represent in the context of your poem? Are there any other symbolic elements that you'd like to explore?